Well, hi, good morning. Yeah, that's what it was. Oh my God, I can't start a video here. Let's try again. Well, hi, good morning, and thank you so much for joining me here in my shop. Today is May 25th, and before I get going on this radio, yes, I'm going to do another day on this radio for reasons. I got to address maybe 2,000 new subscribers I picked up just in the last couple of days. So if you're one of them, this is a kind of a split brain channel. It's become a split brain channel. I'm doing two quite different things. One is I'm working on these old radios, like this is the one I'm working on right now, and at the same time I'm making these stand-up videos talking about, I don't know what to say, current events. I'm not even talking about current events. It's just a quick stand-up, what I call a stand and deliver video. And a lot of you are subscribing after seeing one of those videos. I've only done a few, like 4, and yet I've acquired 30,000 new subscribers from 4 videos. So that's a big problem for me. Normally every day I am working in my shop here and posting a video of about an hour's length, something like that, as I try to make progress on whatever it is I'm working on. And then occasionally I'm turning around and doing a stand-up, stand and deliver type video, and boy, a lot of people are subscribing to my rants, and you know, it's kind of disturbing, to be honest with you, that's what's happening. Look at this, look what's happening here. Come on, you gotta just stop all that, okay? Behave yourself. Be like a cat. So today what's going to happen is I'm going to spend more time working on this old radio. I have another beauty coming in a day or two that I'll be switching to. A nice big wooden cabinet, 1940s home style radio. This is certainly not the kind of radio somebody would have in their home. This is a very serious receiver from way back in the I don't know, early 50s maybe, something like that. I'm not exactly sure, to be honest with you. Okay, so if you're a new subscriber, then what you can do is you can watch for the stand-up style video, and you know I'm doing one of those. Or if you see the thumbnail for the video and it looks something like this, you see my bench and you see something on it, you know I'm doing a radio video. Maybe you're not interested in that. Maybe you are. Maybe you are interested in it. What I try to do when I'm fixing these radios is I try to take an approach that for me is interesting and fun and motivating. That's very important. This one in particular, I've been doing a lot of work on it, and somehow it's getting better, and I couldn't even tell you what it is that's making it work better. It could just be I'm discovering it works. It's taken me this long to discover how to operate it. Maybe that's what's really going on here. So, but usually I'm working on, you know, more classic home type vintage radios, tube radios, 5-tube radios, and I love the multi-band shortwave radios. Like I say, one of those is going to be here in a couple of days, provided I survive with these cats here. So I've also, these cats are relatively new to us. They've been around for about 6 months now, and so we're still learning about them, or finding out about them. Them. Okay, should we get busy on that radio? I have to do a little bit of reading and remind myself how to do it. We're gonna redo the FM alignment because I believe there's a good chance I bunged it up first time around. So I tried to solve the distortion problem when you're listening to FM by doing the alignment, and it didn't work, and I should have thought maybe the alignment didn't go right. So as I always say, whenever I'm doing these kinds of things, alignment in particular, first time through you can just write it off to education and not worry about the result. So I've done the first time through. Now I'm going to try to get a good result. If in fact doing a little bit of alignment work solves the interference or the distortion problem with FM, then this receiver is really in very good shape, except for a bit of a weak output, and I have an interesting idea about that I want to take on. But first, let's do the FM alignment, as long as there's still something left in my shop here, because these cats are crazy. Cats are crazy. You too, over there. His brother's in the next room making a mess. Okay, let's get on to the actual work here. Although I do talk a lot while I'm doing the work on the radio, and I say all kinds of stuff, I actually am trying to avoid explaining things because I'm too scared of being wrong and misleading everybody. And so I tend to just do the work, and whatever happens, as I'm doing the work is fine. But I am going to try to explain an FM alignment, and excuse me, I'm probably wrong in some of the stuff I'm about to say, but I'm going to give you an idea of what I think I am doing, because it's a little bit mysterious if you've never done something like this before, what exactly you are doing with the alignment. So just a blank page here. So of course we have a response curve. I'm going to draw it like this. Okay, and I'm also over here I'm going to draw the transformer we're working on. So primary side and the secondary side. I think this one might be center tapped, but it doesn't matter. It's an air core transformer. So the first thing is the alignment of the primary. And you got a voltmeter over here. Okay, that's my diagram of a voltmeter. Here. So so you're supplying a fixed frequency of 5.2 megacycles, which is the IF frequency, and this thing will resonate at that frequency. So you're trying to adjust this to match the frequency. I'll use the pencil to represent the frequency, and then you're trying to adjust the primary, this coil here, by moving a slug or a capacitor or something like that until you get it here. When you get it there, you get a maximum reading on the meter. That kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Get it at the peak of the curve, you get a maximum reading. That's step one on the primary. So now you've got the most coming through this transformer. You've got the primary working as hard as it can. The real interesting part is the secondary, though. So now when you go to tune the secondary, your meter becomes your meter becomes a center. You have to have it set to be a center zero meter. So zero is in the center now, and it's going to go in either direction, left or right. When you're done, you want it dead center in the zero. Hook it up in the radio in a very special spot where you can do this, which I won't go into an explanation about it. What I really want to show you is what you're doing here. So we have the primary tuned to 5.2, and you're getting maximum output out of this transformer. But you really want this transformer to do an odd job, which is to convert frequency modulation to amplitude modulation. That's what's going on in this coil. So the way you do it is by tuning the secondary, but not to the center. You tune the secondary coil, which has its own curve, by the way. You tune it. Well, let me draw the curve of the second one. This might get a little bit confusing, but I will do that. Okay, I drew this out a little bit on purpose because it's going to be helpful in the explanation. So again, you start moving the slug in here, and there's a 5.2 signal coming, a powerful signal because you boosted it with the primary. It's coming through, but you don't try to max it. You don't set it so the meter is maxed. Of course, the meter's a center zero now. You set it so it's at the zero. It so happens it will happen out here, which you might think is kind of odd, but that's where you'll end up tuning the secondary. So you have the primary dead on, but the secondary you're tuned off. And what happens is, because this is a FM signal coming through here, so its frequency is going back and forth like this. On the primary side, it stays up high, and that means it comes out pretty consistent. On the secondary side, as it sweeps back and forth, it's zooming up and down here. It's going up and down here. This is strong, this is weak. Strong and weak, and strong and weak, and strong and weak, and that's the amplitude modulation developing. So you actually tune it into here. You try to get it in the middle where this part of the curve is as straight as possible. Now you don't want it going too high up the curve or too low on the curve. That has to do with the deviation of the signal. If the signal deviation is too great, it will actually crawl right up these sides here. If you tune this and you've got it up like this, you're going to have distorted sound. And if you tune it the other way, you'll have distorted sound also. You got to get the band pass, would that be the right word for it? Maybe. Located right here. And you'll spot that when this goes to 0, if everything is set up properly. That's an FM alignment. This is how they convert it. They convert it in a transformer that's mistuned, so its output varies with frequency. And the output then is used to drive amplifiers and eventually a speaker. This is what I'm going to try to do on this radio. Okay. I think I explained that fairly well, but you know, that's what I think. Other people might think differently, and hey, that's what the comments are for, to fix all the stupid things I say and do. Okay, I'll get the radio all set and we'll actually attempt this tuning process. Okay, so the mistake I may have made first time through trying to align this is misreading my meter here. I don't know that I did that, but a viewer spotted this as an error, and so the result was bad. So perhaps I did do it wrong. But I think I made more errors than that. One of them is I failed to include a capacitor. I made the connection where the signal is being injected into the radio. I failed to include a capacitor. Would that have thrown things off? Probably not, but I'm not following the exact procedure in the manual. Even though this lead just runs back to my signal generator, there is a capacitor in line with the lead that I always have installed. It's inside this box here. So there's always something in there, which may or may not be a good idea all the time. The trick though is making this capacitor connected to the right spot down in there, and this is where I may have made another error. I may have actually injected the signal into the wrong tube. Because as I'm looking at this now, and I remember peering down in here and complaining about, and I think showing on camera how complicated the situation is in here to try to get anything in, even just see into there. And in doing this again, just looking at it again and getting ready to put in my clip here, I think, oh my gosh, I don't remember it being this tube. So I may have actually stuffed the signal into the wrong tube. How would that work out? Well, you see, it didn't work out 100%. So I'm going to carefully get the equipment set up here, and then we'll do the process. Hopefully error-free. Okay, I think I'm just about ready here. Let's just go over a couple things. I've got a signal generator set to 5.2 megahertz. I've got a cat walking on my keyboard. Hello, I'm still here. Yeah. And I have a input ready to go for injecting the signal. This is coming from the signal generator here. You make the connection, the signal goes in. You have a connection here to the output meter, which for some reason is showing an output when there isn't one. So I'm not too sure what to make of that. It's definitely coming from the radio though. Don't know why this is appearing. Let me reverse the leads here and just see if that does something. As far as I know, this is a completely isolated output of a secondary on an output transformer. So it shouldn't really, wow, made a big difference. What does that mean? Does that mean I just stuck this on the grounded line? Let's just try this. Ground here. Ground here. Don't know what's going on. I don't know how to figure that out. We'll go back to the way it was originally, and now it doesn't show a voltage. Okay, not very reassuring. So we have everything ready, cats are ready, everybody's ready. I'm going to turn the radio on, and it has to... What do you got there? Oh, he's decided to go and do some painting. You like the paintbrush? New toy. Okay, I'm going to preserve this. Turn on the radio now. Okay, we'll switch it on. Okay, it's definitely on. And it doesn't matter where it's tuned. doesn't. As long as it's not tuned to a station, there's no antenna connected to it, so that won't happen. So we're just going to leave it. Well, maybe I'm going to wait and hear a hiss on the speaker. I hear it now. Barely. There we are. That's the FM setting there. Okay. I can't leave you guys in here. Where's the bro? I don't know where he is. Bert, come on with me. Okay? Let's go. Come on with me. Let's go for a walk. We'll leave this stuff here. I'll tell you what. Where's the brush? Here it is. Look. Do you want to play with this? Hey. Do you want to play with this? Not in the eye. Okay, here we go. No. Don't give me the funny look there. Say goodbye to the people, because we're going to go take a little break now for 15 minutes. He's already taken his break. Okay, enough cat's nonsense here. Isn't that enough? Okay, we're ready to start. The hiss you're hearing is the FM hiss from the radio. The important thing will be the reading on the meter here. So, first thing, this is, even though it says 5198, it's really 5.2 is what my signal generator is at. It's unmodulated, it's putting out probably an insufficient voltage at this point. I'll be putting out about 1/10 of a volt or so. Apparently this test requires a volt to be injected into the radio. So I'm going to connect the... Where'd it go? Where'd it go? What happened? Right here. Alright, the cat pulled the... It's like, where's the thing? Where's the thing? This thing. The cat pulled it out of the radio there. Actually, I think you probably saw at the last moment. So I don't like doing this with it live, but pretty sure where I'm going with this. Right. Oh my gosh, I got myself all confused. I'm thinking I'm working on the voltmeter connection. No. Quieted the radio just a touch. Doing that. Okay. I'm going to inject the signal into the radio. Connect this. Like so. How's our meter doing over there? Don't care about that meter, Jim. Holy smokes. You're a bozo. Okay, never mind that meter. Eyes away from that one. It's this one over here, for crying out loud. Let's see if I can just make it a little easier to see. So you can see I've set it to center 0 right now, but I don't want that. I'll need that later. Right now I want it down here, just zeroed like a regular meter. And we're going to connect the meter up. Did you see it? It rose just a tiny amount. That's the 5-volt scale. That's not much of a voltage. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the output from the signal generator, and we'll snap it up 10. Ooh, that didn't make any difference. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Well, that's a little odd. Shouldn't that be jumping up and down? This meter should be going up and down, shouldn't it? Oh, something not right. Something's not right here. How can I figure out if I've got it right? Re-examining everything. Make the meter a little more sensitive. You can increase the output of the... Well, you know what? You can calibrate the signal generator output. Let me do that. So actually it is calibrated. It's right on the money. Go up another 10. Just go up another factor of 10 and see if the meter jumps up higher yet. It goes down. Why would it go down? Got me as to why it would go down. Why would it go down? Is that because I need this thing set that high to get a? This is an incorrect reading here. Doesn't make sense to me. If I have too low of a signal coming into the radio, surely this meter just reads lower and lower. I don't have any choice now except to actually attempt the alignment like this. I got bad feelings. I got bad feelings. Why have I got bad feelings? Why have I got bad feelings about this? It's not working exactly as I expected. I know what. The first step in doing this is to back out the slug at the top of the can. I better read it again. Yeah, that's right. I have to back a slug out all the way. I have to back the secondary slug out. I haven't done that. Okay. I think that's what's going on. Okay, so we just read this part of the instructions right in here. Signal generator is adjusted to give an unmodulated output of 1 volt at a frequency of 5.2, checked against an accurate standard, and is connected via a 0.01 capacitor to the grid, which is pin 1 of the FM limiter tube, which I've done. The center 0 ammeter is used to indicate the discriminator output. I'm using a vacuum tube voltmeter in place of what they're describing here, which I think is quite satisfactory. Set the secondary top core of T6 so it's flush with the top of the screening can, which I'm about to do, and then adjust. After doing that, adjust the primary core for maximum deflection. The secondary core controls the center frequency of the characteristic and should now be adjusted for 0 on the meter. Okay, I got it. First, absolutely sure I'm doing T6 here. I don't want to make any kind of dumb mistake, so I'm just going to look at the manual myself for the layout diagram. It shows where all the sort of the top view of the radio. T6, yeah, that's the same one I did last time. T6 is this one down in this area. Okay, so I'm going to move the slug to the top here of T6. I heard something funny just now. I bumped a microphone with my head. Okay, so it's hard to get this into the slug, I found. And you can still see the meter there, yeah. Very tricky to get this to set. Got it now, I think. You can see the meter going down as I crank this up. I think this is going up. Yeah. Way up, way up. Wow. It's a long ways. There we are. Okay. So it caused this to go down a little bit. Now we want to do the bottom and bring this up. So I'm just going to shuffle around here. I got to stand where the camera was to do this. Okay. Into the correct slug now. Set in the slug. So it went up. I keep turning this thing. Is that what's going on there? That can't be right. That can't be right. There's no peak. I'm turning it back. That's pretty weird. Okay, something not right here. I'm gonna turn the volume up. When I get this meter minimized, the radio makes it a hiss, which you can't hear maybe. It's very quiet. As if that's the spot. Am I doing this totally backwards? It said top of the can. And then that's not working out. Something's not working out here. Something is not working out, because I'm sure I should be bringing the meter up and finding a peak. And then doing the center zero thing, bringing it back down to zero after. Something's not working out here. I'm going to stop for a bit and ponder the situation. Okay, after thinking about this, what may have happened is I've moved the primary slug right out of range, and so I got to bring it back in, and yeah, and put the slug in the right spot. That's basically what it boils down to. Let's try again. Sure. Sorry about my head being in front of the camera. Angles are really bad here, and they've tried to arrange the parts so you can get the tool way down past them all, but it's really kind of a difficult affair here. Come on. That. Yeah, right at the last minute, the tool is bent away from the slot in the slug. How am I going to get it in there? Got it in there before. Get through here. Bend some stuff out of the way. Try a different tool. I can practically see it go right into the slot. My gosh. I was in there earlier. What happened? Was I in the wrong slot? I didn't do the wrong one. No, I didn't. Well, this isn't working out either. Holy smokes. Hasn't moved a fraction. did I get it in there before? The slot, maybe the you know, the slot part would have been like this. Get the tool down in this edge. Totally unrepresentative of the true sizes of things. But get it on the edge and get it going. But now it's like this. And as I push the tool in as it heads for the slot, and it bends right at the last minute because of stuff in the way. Who put stuff in the way? Then there's another way in there, through here. Yeah, maybe that's a little funny angle here. Because the parts act like fulcrums on the tool, on the shaft of the tool. You move the tool this way, and because of the fulcrum effect, the pointer's going the other way, or the end of it's going the other way. You can't necessarily see these things even. I don't think this is going to go in. Oh, why was it changing? I'm in. That's why. Okay. Okay, calm down now. Don't fall out. So I found if I go this way, it goes up a little bit, and then it just doesn't go any higher. So if I go the other way, get exactly the same. And the radio only makes sound when it's here. This is not. This is working exactly the opposite to what I showed in my diagram when I started. There seemed to be centering zero with this one. What a mess. And here's something else I have to admit to. The number of FM radios I've done, I've probably done 15 or 20 FM, maybe more. But half of them, when I'm all done doing this kind of stuff, I then tune in a station and continue twiddling, and I'm able to improve it a lot more. So somehow the technical approach, the alignment approach, doesn't seem to get all the way there. It could be because hooking up equipment disturbs the radio enough that once the equipment's connected, the alignment goes haywire. You take the equipment off, the alignment goes back, but it's not correct now. You've corrected it into a wrong spot. I don't know if that's happening here at all. I don't get it. Seems to me I did this and the behavior was fine when I did it previously. I was able to peak up the meter. I checked the slug. The top slug is right out at the can. If any higher, it's going to fall out. What do you do now? It's all. So maybe what I'm running into is a defect in the radio. The FM sound is distorted for reasons unknown. Having trouble aligning here is one indication that there's trouble in the circuits. Oh, trouble everywhere. Okay, I'm going to take a little coffee break here. Maybe a good idea will come out of my coffee cup. Who knows? I can't think of anything I'm doing wrong here. So despite the very low reading on the meter, I'm going to go ahead, follow the procedure, and see where we end up. Very uncomfortable about the whole thing. How can I follow the procedure? Make this meter go up as high as possible. Well, hello, Bert. You've come to help me out, have you? I need. You heard I need help. Yeah, I need all kinds of help here. Let's see. There we go again. What are you planning on doing today? Now, last time I got it in without realizing it. So I'm watching the meter over there. Unbelievable. himself comfortable here. Right, Bert? Yeah. Hey, he's getting to know his name. At least he knows the tone of my voice when I'm directing it at him. Bert, what are we gonna do? What are you concerned about this at all? Trying it this time. Come on. You gotta go right in there. Boy. Unbelievable. So when you watch my videos, stuff like this happens in them. Just shove it harder. Don't want to shove it too hard, end up damaging the radio. She does not want to go in there. I don't think I've got any other tool that's better than this either. That's like the male lament, isn't it? My tool is insufficient. Come on. I think I'm nudging it occasionally here, but how can this be so tough? I did it fairly easily the first time. How about this? While I do this, you can watch my cat. Where is he? Oh, I almost had it there because I saw the thing jump. My God, I can't believe this. Oh, I'm going to have to try to find some other tool to do this with because, you know, unless it's going in and I just am too clueless to realize it. No, there's no way that's going in. Ay. Oh, smokes. Okay, one more try, then I'm going to go look for another tool. But like I say, I really don't think I have anything better than this. Let's try using that fulcrum thing to... The fulcrum doesn't work in my benefit. I can't believe it. It just... How did I get it in there before? I didn't have this much trouble. Yeah, even he's giving up. He's giving up on me. Okay, I gotta look for another kind of tool to try here, but jeepers creepers, I don't know. Yeah, as it turns out, I do have another one. I think it's really identical. These things are all numbered. This is the GC8195. This one is the GC8195. Same one. Okay. Well, let's see if this one. Maybe the problem is it has to be red to go in there. Let's see. I think this one's got a wider blade on it, which is not going to help, I don't think. Can't imagine this is going to help. I think I have a long white one with a narrow blade on it. Okay, just another attempt here. Huh. Okay, let's get out the master set here. These things. I have a lot of tools. You can see down below my tool rack, there's just a pile of them down here. Those are the ones I use mostly. I only use a couple. I have a unbelievable supply here. You might say, Jim, why would you buy all these? I didn't. Somebody gave all this to me. Oh, okay. Somewhere in here, there's going to be something smaller. These ones aren't bladed ones, are they? None of these have blades on them, or are long enough to reach down there. A long white one would be one of these, with a weird looking thing on it. It's not very strong. Okay, let's try this one, because it's got a bit of a bend in it. Maybe that's going to help. Oh man, spend all day trying to stick something in a slot. That's another, sounds like a male activity to me. Don't knock it all down. Yeah. Okay, where are you going? Going in here. Right in. Right in. Okay, we're watching the meter now. Up as high as you can go. Now the problem is I can keep turning this. Turn. Let's keep going and see what happens in the long run. Oh, do you see a little peak there? There's a little peak there. You probably can't see it. Okay, that's interesting. Let's go further. Come down a bit. Okay, let's go back there. Back where this little peak was. Here it is. It's just a teeny little peak. Okay, now the next thing is to adjust the other slug. Set this to center 0. How do I set this to center 0? I have to disconnect the input and 0 it. Okay, let's see what happens here. Take off the input. You didn't hear it, but when I did that, the radio stopped hissing. Okay, so we'll center it here. Put this back on. I don't like this. I don't think this is working the way it's supposed to, but we're going to keep going. What are you doing? What are you doing there? You're looking at something. What is it? Just all those wires you'd love to bite. Don't bite the raw wires. Okay, the objective now is to get this to the 0 point. So let me put this. Ooh, what was that? I don't know. Slug in. There we go. Back in. There we go. It's supposed to go to 0. 0 in the middle. Here it comes. Oh, I've hit the bottom of the slug run. I can't go any lower. What is going on here, for crying out loud? This is just totally back-asswards. Okay, it really is just going totally wrong. I'm going to stop for a bit and just try to calm down and review everything here to try to sort out what I'm doing wrong. What am I doing wrong here? Okay, I'm going to try something completely different here. I just try, I've got tools in both sides at the same time. I just try kind of randomly wandering around to see if somewhere something would happen. You know, nothing happened that I would expect. So I'm going to take a totally different approach, and I'm going to feed into the antenna a known controlled signal from my signal generator, that thing back there. And we're going to try to do this with that. There is a procedure to do it this way. The difficulty is if you don't have the radio tuned exactly right, like the big dial on the front tuned exactly right, then you'll align the radio off. And so if a radio is already aligned off, how do you get the radio tuned exactly right? So that's why they're saying put in a 5.2 megahertz signal into the IF, because that's controlled and there's no question about it. Well, that's interesting. Does that mean... So I know the IF is tuned. I did it myself, and everything I've done indicates it's okay. It's tuned properly to 5.2. So if I tune in an FM signal with the radio and maximize it, I should be on the money. I should be putting the IF frequency right to 5.2, just using a radio signal and the local oscillator to do it, to create it. If I do this carefully enough, I can get back to the same thing I'm doing right now, only maybe it'll work. That's my hope. Okay, hey, having fun. It's lots of fun. To a point. Okay, before the signal generator test, let's put this thing on an antenna, tune something in, and I'll twiddle these things and we'll see what happens. And that sounds like a hopeless thing, but let's try it. Because that's interesting in itself. Now I want to take the signal generator off here. Plenty loud. Okay, we'll try tuning in a station now. I'll just flip the camera like this so I don't step in front of it. We are on, where am I band? We might be on band 2. Band 2. What's the hum here? The hum could be from this. Maybe not. Hum could be from this. Maybe not. Hum can't be from this. Why are you humming? Hum from this. No. Okay, don't know why it's humming like that. You know what? It could be my, let me turn shouting over top of it. It could be because my signal generator has a hum in it. So first thing we want to do is tune the radio exact. And how am I going to do that? I can tune the signal generator or the radio. I can tune the radio. Now watch the indicating meter on the front. Not working. Not working. So here's the problem. I don't know for sure when I have this tuned in. But we're just messing around anyway. So that sounds about it. Oh my gosh. What happened? What happened just now? The antenna was not connected well. Okay. Tuning. Hopefully that's not going to get me a copyright hit. I don't think so, but... Oh, that sounds a lot better. I don't want them playing music though, please. What was that? Oh, I gotta play music now. Don't play music. Talk, please. Oh, they're gonna play more music, so I'm gonna find another station. Ooh, this is actually the one I'm after. This one. So, speech is a little tricky, but wow, a lot more volume here. Oops. Move this over. Okay. This is now random alignment technique. Random.
I wrote this book called The Trees Are Speaking. we bring you a world of climate solutions. Today we're talking about why the survival
other
of
one now.
old-growth forest is so crucial to our own survival. These ancient trees are threatened not just by logging, but by politics, disease, and climate-fueled
this one again.
wildfires.
Primary.
But there are reasons for hope, and Linda will talk about that too.
You know what? Like, look at how easy this has been to do it this way.
So that sets the framework, Linda. You are speaking to me from a studio in Seattle today, just a few hours drive from where I am in Vancouver. And it occurs to me that most of the things you write about are things that these two cities have in common. So I just wonder, can you talk a bit about what you think makes this part of the world so special?
Well, this transboundary natural paradise that we share, it truly is special and unique. It starts with this mild climate and all the moisture that we get in the winter. And then it's the unique suite of species that enable us to enjoy these forests that are unlike any others on Earth. This is the temperate rainforest, and so this band of life really only extends from southeast Alaska to northern California, west of the Cascade Mountains. And you know, you've got the
Okay, how's that sound?
You've got the spruce, you've got the Douglas firs. These are the trees that have the capacity to live
Not
for
quite.
1,000 years and grow to immense size.
This one.
Okay, but with all of the challenges that our two countries are facing right now,
This one.
why do you think people in the U.S. and Canada should even still care about a bunch of ancient trees?
Well, if they want to persist in life on Earth, they need to care about a bunch of ancient trees. And the reason I say that is these are the carbon sentinels. These are the trees that hold more carbon than any
I shouldn't have
other
pulled them
tree on
out.
Earth. Because of their mass size, there are myths about carbon sequestration.
So we're seeing how balanced the tuning is. So start on one side, just tune through it and just listen.
For carbon sequestration. Well, let's just think about that for a second.
So it kind of came in a little slow and went out a little quick. So I think that says we're not on the money yet.
In a gigantic tree, a small young tree, no matter how fast it's growing, this is a matter of mass, and it's not only
Pretty nice, though.
storage in the roots, but also
Compared to where I've been all this time.
in leaves and in soil, and it can persist for multiple centuries. So there's no better, faster,
Oh. That's my signal generator there. Pretty sure. Yep. So this might prove helpful now. Take the signal generator signal, tune it in like I have. Somehow get it tuned exactly right. Okay, what does that mean? That means there's a signal centered on 5.2 megahertz in the IF. How can you know that? Normally you know that by watching the center zero meter on the front of the radio, but it's not working and it's not aligned, so you can't trust it necessarily. Just listening to this sound is distorted. So you're just listening to it. Can I do this just listening to it? And you notice a lot of hiss. I think the radio was quiet when I was listening to the regular radio station. Put my head right in front of the camera here. What happened? It's this one. I think it was this one. I don't know which one was that worked? Yeah. Okay, on that. I'll get on the top too. Okay, just using my ears here. This is really a terrible way to do this. As I get this in, here we go. Oh wow, you really do need music playing to do this kind of thing. Yeah. So the impression I get is that something's not balancing quite right. Yeah, there's all kinds of positions here that generate a stronger response, but always distorted. There's a distorted coming out of my signal generator. Let's try a real high frequency here. See what happens with that. Piercing your ears, piercing my ears. I have no idea what I'm doing here. Goodness knows I'm a mile off from where it should be. Yeah, I don't think this is. Because might as well be rolling dice. Up to where I was here, 91.
From small town, timber towns all over the Olympic Peninsula, to talk about what we do in the Pacific Northwest about the older forests. And the next step taken by the president was to bring together experts, put them in a hotel, shut the door, and say you're not coming out until you come out with a solution. Draw lines on maps. Show us where the forests need to be protected for the sake of not only the owl, the spotted owl, which is what was at the center of these lawsuits, and salmon. And this was a remarkable thing. We haven't seen anything like it before or since. There were no focus groups, there were no lobbyists. These were subject experts and scientists and paneled together to decide, literally draw the lines on the maps that became the Northwest Forest Plan, which ultimately was approved by Judge Dwyer.
I'm listening to her
It
S's
remains the most
very carefully.
ambitious multi-species conservation plan
Sound
ever
normal?
in the world, covering 3 states, California, Northern California, Oregon, and Washington, 24 million acres of federal land, including about 5 million acres of old growth. So, a remarkable accomplishment, and it has stood the test of time.
And then fast forward to today, and the Trump administration is planning to speed up environmental reviews on more than half of the United States national forests. Meanwhile, it's threatening increased tariffs on Canadian lumber. Can people afford to care about old-growth forests right now?
Yes, is the answer to that question. Number one, we still have the Endangered Species Act in the United States. We still have the Clean Water Act. We still have all of these.
That's to sound very nice to me now.
All he has done is put out what we call an executive order. So this is words on paper, and that's all it is. It's not a law. It doesn't change the existing laws. And if you read these words closely, as I did about this on the paper,
Not a very balanced response yet.
right? So that's a long phrase that means a lot. Just wait and see when those first timber sales start coming out.
So I've tuned it a little bit to the edge here, and I'm going to make that edge sound like the other edge. Make that edge sound like the other edge.
Let's go back to the book. You begin with this wondrous ascent you make of a centuries-old tree
Distorted like the other one.
in an Oregon forest. You're going up with the help of some cables.
Be better on the top, I
Kids
think.
climbing a tree. And you get up there and you just seem blissful. And then you end the book by telling of a wildfire that destroyed more than than 2/3 of that forest 2 years ago. And I'm wondering how that
Quinn.
affected you.
Here.
Yes, I was just there actually. I
Nope,
went back to
not in.
look at the forest for the first time since it burned. So this is the H.J. Andrews Experimental Forest, which is outside Eugene, Oregon, in the United States. And it was a shock, but I felt a sense
Okay, here we
of
go.
accountability because this is a forest that had not burned in 500 years. And hotter summers, drier summers, longer summers. And so,
Ooh,
you know,
very
this fire
very similar now.
got started in a place that was dangerous for firefighters to go, so they didn't get in there and deal with it right away. And so by the time it was over, 3/4 of the forest had been touched to 1 degree or more by fire. Some of it, the landscape of it was just lightly touched, kind of peripheral. It's not a bad thing at all. It helps clear out the understory and so forth. And then there were some places that were completely blackened. Now the trees are still there, they're still standing. They don't turn to ash, they don't go away, but it was a black sear landscape, and it was very shocking to stand there and see that, and just the power.
Didn't sound quite right. Weak station. So I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to use this music to adjust the radio because I'll get a copyright hit if I keep it on video, and we'll see what I come up with. Okay, I think I've tried every possible combination of settings for these two slugs, up and down, listening to a music program on a strong FM station. Couple things. One, can't get rid of the distortion no matter what. Two, the receiver never quiets. The limiter is never working. So I think this, and I have the volume very, very high, so I think the radio's still weak. So from here, I think I'm going to investigate the front end tubes. There's an initial RF tube and other things that I think we need to do something about. So, so I'll let you listen to this briefly because of copyright. That's terrible, eh? Yeah, I'm not going to get a copyright on that. Yeah, terrible. So no matter what I did, I cannot get rid of the distortion. So I've kind of left it at the strongest arrangement, so the most signals coming through the radio. But goodness knows if that's... Yeah, I think I just set that aside now. And tomorrow I'll go after these tubes up in the front that I think I've tested them all once. I can't remember now. Okay, and you know what? There's also these two audio tubes that are still sitting here untested. Don't know what the story is with them. Wow, but radio's a little better. Thanks for watching, and keep hope alive.